participating in our contests. And thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another edition of the Adam Carriker Show. We just got some major news before we came on air. I think it's major news because it's about time you get some frickin' recognition. Emmett Johnson, well, a couple of things. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm unfamiliar with this first award, so maybe you can educate me a little bit. The Emmett Dane Running Back of the Year Award. Do you know what that is?
This is the Big Ten Awards. They've been doing this since, I think when Nebraska joined the conference, actually, is they paired off some legendary names to put in front of. It's just the Running Back of the Year in the Big Ten.
Okay. Well, okay. That's basically, I knew it was Running Back of the Year. So it's actually not, I thought it was two separate awards. I got two separate things sent to me, so I thought it was two separate things. It's just, I don't want to say just. It is the Big Ten Running Back of the Year award is basically what it means.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense. I was like, all right, he won two awards. I thought there was two separate things sent to me, so it was confusing. But I did notice
they do the coaches and the media stuff, so I could see how it would be like, it would be.
Yeah. You got your coaches awards sometimes. You got your AP awards. All right. Without further ado, Emmett Johnson is your clear cut, by the way, Big Ten Running Back of the Year. Shout out to my man. All right. Well-deserved, undisputed. Was there ever a question in your mind? I know you probably didn't think about this specific award a lot, but had somebody asked you, would you have had doubt in your mind? If
not by the end of the season. No, I mean, I think he all but wrapped that up. But certainly, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, sure.
I'm just going to point it out, just because I'm a bitter, angry human being. The Big Ten Running Back of the Year is not good enough to be a Doak Walker Award finalist, apparently, even though he has more all-purpose yards, more rushing touchdowns than all three of the other finalists. Are you more rushing yards and more all-purpose yards than the other three finalists? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I think it's partially because I just don't understand when we like why narrow the list before the final game is played. It doesn't make any sense to give out grades or finalize anything when you're 92% way through the season. You still got a game to go.
Remember when they used to give out the national championship before the bowl games were played?
Yeah.
Because we share the 70 national title with, was it Texas?
Yeah, Texas.
Who lost in the bowl game, got curb stomped, molly-whopped, and their butt whooped by Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. But they'd already been determined national champs. So we have to share it with Gag Me You, who may or may not have even gotten on the plane to go down to play in Dallas that year. At least some college football still doesn't make any sense. Good Lord. You were telling me before we came on air, so Vanderbilt's like going to try to sue if they don't get in the playoff, because they're not going to get in the playoff. And they're trying to get Trump to do an executive order or something like that to expand the playoff. What is it? Would you tell me? Like literally right as we were coming on air.
Yeah, that's what Terrell said. What I know is that they're reaching out and calling out to, I think it was Utah and
you said Miami.
Maybe
what you
Miami,
told me.
I believe, of trying to get somebody this weekend to play an extra game so they can get something on tape this weekend.
Oh, I love that. That would have been phenomenal. You remember in I think it was 2020, and I had advocated for this back when I played for the Skins and I had my old show, Fourth and Pain. I was like, why do just the top two teams back then, divisions, play in the championship game? Why doesn't number two from the Big Ten, it was Leaders and Legends? That's how long ago I proposed this. Why doesn't number two from the Leaders and Legends play number two? Like, why doesn't number three from the Leaders play number three from the Legends, or East and West if you got more, nonsensical, typical division names? Why don't they play each other every year? And then we did it one year in 2020. I was like, first of all, stole my idea, didn't give me any credit. Number two, never did it again. Why? Why doesn't everybody do it? We're going to come back to the college football playoff. So I always said I was going to explain how I'd fix it in July, and then I missed a lot of time in July and never got to it. Then football happened. At some point, I got to finalize those little details I still haven't gotten to. I swear on everybody who's most important to me, I will get to that this offseason. But I don't hate the idea of the play-in games that was proposed last year. Like, the top 2 teams play for a conference championship, but you're already automatically in. But 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, winners are in. I don't hate that at all, especially when I start to hear some of this other crap that is just thrown out. Let's have 84 teams in the playoff. That's what it's eventually going to come down to, because the 24-team playoff has realistically been thrown out there, which you astutely pointed out. If you got the play-in games, it's really a 24-team playoff. You're just dubbing the first round play-in instead of playoff. I still like it, though. All right. Congratulations. Shout out to Emmett Johnson. Much deserved. We'll talk about this more at a later date. Should he come back? Should he? I officially have my opinion on this, because I'd kind of gone back and forth, and my opinion is going to matter 0% in what Emmett decides. But I'm going to share it anyways. What is your official opinion on this?
I mean, if I take my rose-colored glasses off, I'd probably say he should probably go. I just kind of go back to the running back shelf life in the NFL, the opportunity that he's going to get there, quicker chance to get to your next contract there as well if you do show out in the NFL. So, I think that's, and then the other thing is just, I mean, he's on fire. He just had the biggest performance against an Iowa defense, which is respected, in college football circles since Melvin Gordon, or close to it. And, he's what, 5 straight 100-yard games. Then you look at next year, that all coming with 30 plus touches a game. That's not sustainable without injury at some point. And then next year, you're going to have a tougher schedule. Yeah, you get kind of the offseason hype to kind of help in that category. But I mean, I just think there's a lot that plays into he should go to the NFL, which means the only realistic opportunity for me is to pay E-money as money if you're Nebraska. And it would be a big chunk of change. So we'll see what comes about from it. Certainly would love, and we'll be cheering for Emmett Johnson to come back. But I mean, you just don't see too many guys wait around until their senior year if they're NFL caliber to go at the running back position.
I kind of figured that's what you were going to say. It's what most people are saying. I completely understand, respect, and get that. Before I give my take on this, because it is slightly different, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Mulberry Barbecue. All right. They now have not 1, but 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker. Also, ladies and gentlemen, at 61st and Apples Way, right off of Highway 2, right by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try the burnt end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, full slab of ribs, and a half smoked chicken to get much, much more. Plus incredible sides. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue. Again, located at 11th and Cornhusker and also at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2. So the first thing I'm going to point to is what can you get NIL-wise? And the money is just becoming more and more astronomical. So I sent this to you right before we went on air. Brendan Sorsby, remember the Cincinnati quarterback that ran for about 4,000 yards on us game 1? That's a bad joke.
That's the second half.
Just the second half.
Yeah,
I apologize. A terrible joke. You added to it, though.
Well, that's more true.
He has, according to Rick Neuheisel, he has 3 separate $4 million NIL deals for 2026. The money's just going through the roof. So the first thing I'm going to say is, if you can match, what round do you think Emmett would go in? I think we projected 3rd last time we did this.
Yeah, I think top 4. I see him falling out of the top 4 would be surprising.
I don't think he goes lower than, I'd be shocked if he goes lower than 4. Yeah. I'd also be mildly surprised he goes higher than 3 because of what I'm about to talk about. So, and you looked this up last time. Do you mind looking it up real quick? What is the average 3rd rounder in the NFL make his rookie season? All right, let me know as I'm kind of going through this. My first question would be, what round you projected to go in? What are you projected to make that rookie season? What could you get paid via NIL? Matt Rule has just said we are not short on money. This also kind of comes back to, and I'm not putting the cart before the horse here, but it's all connected. Matt Rule probably has an idea right now of what Dylan Raiola is going to do or not do. If Dylan stays, hey, that's great. It's a lot of money. There might be less money to give to Emmett. If Dylan goes, okay, let's make sure we keep Latif. But that might be more money to go to offensive linemen, defensive linemen, Emmett, etc. Latif himself Okay, and again, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm just saying if you're going to talk about Emmett, it's all interconnected. Is there money available? Is there not? Why is it not available? Matt Rule probably has a decent idea right now. He may not know exactly what's going to happen with the two quarterbacks. I doubt if he does, but he probably has a decent idea. Has a feeling. All right, what would he make his rookie year? 3rd round pick.
Well, I got the first pick of the 3rd round, but that's would be $5.85 million for the first pick with a signing bonus of 1.26.
Is that his first year, or is that over the course of a couple of years?
That's the contract, I believe, of a couple of years. Let me do a little more digging.
Because I was going to say $5 million for a 3rd round pick. That's news to me. So let's say it's $2 million.
It's in the rookie deal, so I think it's a 3-year deal.
3-year deal, about $5 million. So I was going to say about 1.5. That's what I thought. So we'll say 1.7.
Yeah.
Would you pay Emmett Johnson 1.7 for him to come back next year to Nebraska if you're Matt Rule?
I think so.
So here's what I'm getting at. Because the other thing you got to factor in if you're Emmett Johnson, as a guy who's gone through this decision myself in the past, not as the Big Ten running back of the year, but in my own right.
Yeah, a 1st round pick. Don't undersell it.
Well, I did win Big Ten running back of the year for multiple reasons. Not a running back or in the Big Ten. I'm just saying, semantics here. But you've also got to factor in what do you think you can make the following year? I'll tell you right now, when I was projected to be 21st overall coming out after my junior year, my first thought was, can I get top 15? Because that's a big difference in money. I mean, if you're the 3rd pick in the NFL draft, 3rd pick in the 3rd round of the NFL draft versus the 1st pick in the 3rd round of the NFL draft, the gap in money's not as big. But it jumps exponentially from like the 10th pick to the 20th pick in the 1st round. It jumps every pick exponentially. And so that factored in a little bit for me. I've told this story before. I want to come back and play at Nebraska. That was my lifelong dream. But that was something I did look into briefly. So Emmett, if you stay, like if you can get 1.7, okay, you've matched the money. Let's say the money is matched for next year. The money is matched. Well, what about beyond that? There's life beyond next year. Do you think you can come back and raise your stock, raise your value enough that maybe you jump into the 2nd round? 1st round, drop to the 4th round. What if I don't have as good a year, Adam? What if I drop to the 4th? It's all value. Valid to talk about. All I could think of was valuable. I'm like, that's not the right word. Valid to talk about. I have spoken to enough national people who think highly of Emmett Johnson and his production and of him as a human being. And all that's going to be in the plus category for him. The couple things they bring up, because nobody's got all pluses in just the plus category. There's both sides of the equation. They bring up 2 things. Top end speed, which is not bad. Maybe not quite what you'd like if you're going to draft. You got to remember, running backs, they're not as valued by the NFL as they once were. If you're going to draft a guy like 1st round, for sure, you got to have top end speed. That's elite. 2nd round, it's got to be really good. So that is one thing that's brought up. I'm not saying Emmett's slow or anything like that, to be clear. The other thing, and the thing that actually gets brought up more often than anything else, is the size. He's listed at 5'11", 200. A couple people, and he runs like he's 220, to be clear. He runs like he's 220. The amount of tackles he breaks, and it's like he's only 200 the way he runs. But there are guys who will just watch him, and sometimes they're like, oh, he might be 195. And so these are things that scouts who don't care about people's feelings are going to evaluate in those rooms when they're, hey, we're going to drop 1.7 on this guy. Or we're going to drop $5 million on a 1st round pick. Or we're going to drop 3 in year 1 for a 2nd round pick. Or you drop to the 4th round. Now you're going to make, this is all really good money, comparatively speaking, but maybe you drop to 1.1 as a 4th round pick. Like this, that salary cap is real. You can't work around it in the NFL like you can in college, sports, football, and athletics. They have to be fairly frugal, not frugal, but smart with how they allocate their money. Knowing that a quarterback's probably going to take up so much of it if you've got a good one. So for me, I'd almost wonder if him coming back for a year, he wouldn't even have to get any faster. I think he's got plenty of speed. If he could put on, actually, it's my dad's birthday, so shout out. Happy birthday, Dave Carriker. Halfway across the country. I literally, he asked me about Emmett because he, Big Ten running back of the year. He goes, you think he's going to stay or go? I never actually did answer that question now that we got into the whole different question of, what should he do in our opinion? And I mentioned to my dad, well, what if he stayed, maintained his speed, maintained agility, maintained everything, which can be done, but he just put on 10 pounds? My dad's initial response was, ooh. Like with a little bit smaller frame, like he's not small, but smaller frame. Although some national pundits have said he's a little bit smaller in general. Like, is that going to be realistic to do? I was like, okay, well, let's say he's not quite 200 because you never, hardly ever put less than you are. So he's probably somewhere between 195 to 200. 190, he's got to be at least 195. He's too jacked at times. So let's say he's 198. Puts on 7 pounds of muscle, maintains his speed. It is a legit 205. And he doesn't even have to match the exact production because hopefully we have a number 2 running back we trust a little bit more. Do you think that would help his draft stock more next year? Or he should strike while the iron is hot, even though some of the guys are going to bring up the, I don't want to say concerns, but valid, in both columns, things to point out. Like if we're going to spend X amount of money, we're comparing him to this dude over here who's 210, 215, doesn't have the production, doesn't have the yards, doesn't have the catches. Maybe has the same 40. Maybe it's a little faster. Maybe it's not, but he's 15 pounds heavier. How does that project to the NFL? Does that all make sense to you? What's your reaction to kind of what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I mean, I can agree to that. Another thing that I would kind of point out, and we saw this, I think, specifically in the Minnesota game, was pass protection, and maybe some weight could help out in that category too. So, there's definitely something to ponder. Another thing that I would ponder as well, and I'd be interested to see how Husker fans would react in the modern age. We say, does he stay or does he go? What if he went to Ohio State or Georgia?
No.
And that's the reaction I thought that I would get.
No.
But I mean, you want, if all options are on the table, that might also
go to commercial.
Be
Mute his
option.
mic. No. I'm sorry, Jake. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think it would be a valid option because Nebraska is, again, I mean, if nothing else, if Emmett Johnson does return, he's the focal identity of the offense. Again, you can't run 30 plus touches a game. At least I don't think that would be start of the pitch to try to get him back again because of the mileage that you don't want to put on him. Certainly would be able to boost his name up. And then I'm just thinking about NIL wise, and part of the reason why he is in the 4th round is I do think that he's going to be a better college running back than pro running back. Mm-hmm. Again, just and that's, I'm not alone, right? That's why the projections are where they are. Is that maybe one of these other top teams across the country could pitch him a little bit more of a better package, maybe similar money. Nebraska says they can have it, maybe even more money, right, as they're going after national championships. I think that is an option that traditionally we hate, but in the current world of college football should probably be on the table for every athlete.
So you do make good points. My gut just tells me he's either going to stay here or go to the NFL. It's just what my gut says. Isn't it ironic that a year ago, remember he went into the portal for like a week or two?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't going to be used. Now the argument is, well, you might be used too much. Actually could be used against us just not even a full year later. How crazy things can turn. I get what you're saying. I would be mildly surprised. And keep in mind, it's not all about production. So the NFL, college football awards are about your production. The NFL is about what they project you to be able to do. So those are two different things. I'll never forget. I was in the NFL, and there was a dude who came in. He won like every award under God's hot sun, but he was like 7th round pick. And he's in the preseason. He's trying to make the team. He's struggling. The special teams coach is ripping into him. He's like, did you even play college football? Do you even know what you're doing? I'm sitting there like, this dude won the Bednarik. This dude won the holy. And it's all about what they project you to do versus comparing that to production, because production is going to factor a little bit. But Quinshon Judkins, who was the other running back last year from Ohio State?
Travion Henderson.
Both 2nd round picks. They split time. So it's not necessarily directly about production. It's about projection of what they believe you can do. We'll see what happens. If we can match what he'd make in the NFL and he gets to be the feature back at Nebraska, and I would say that you're going to play in a lot of big time games. I don't know. Maybe that's appealing. Maybe I just want him to come back. I'll readily admit I want him to come back. But I finally arrived talking to my dad like, I actually think this might be better for him. Maybe I'm just being hopeful. Is there anything off the text line?
Yeah, going into that, does development of 2026 offensive line affect Emmett's decision?
Oh, good Lord, yes. Good Lord, yes. Absolutely. If I'm Emmett, I'm okay. How much would you pay me? I assume I'm going to be featured. Is there going to be someone behind me who can give me a break? Not that I don't want the ball 90 times a game. That's awesome. But, tread on the tires over time, get into that second contract in the NFL, all that good stuff. Oh, by the way, is there going to be a little bit bigger holes next year? Because that would be helpful too. You know what I mean? So I think all that factors in. We're 22 minutes in. I didn't plan on talking about that at all. The news just broke. This show timing is awesome. It tends to break right before our show all the time. It's phenomenal. I want to thank Keith Mann and everyone at the university for coordinating that with us, and so we can always be on air right after they break news. Actually, Steve Sipple is the one who reported it, so shout out to Steve Sipple, but someone from obviously kind of probably told him first. So we actually sent you 5 clips, but there's 3 clips I definitely want to get to today. This show is about what's next for Nebraska, and Emmett Johnson being on this roster or not is a big part of that, because if he's gone, we have 0 proven running backs in our backfield. So that's a fair thing to talk about. I kind of alluded to the quarterback situation. That will be its own topic as things go on down the road. But there's 3 clips I believe I sent you from Rule's press conference yesterday. Surprise me with whichever one you want to play. We'll talk about it. Then we'll head to break. We'll come back and we'll discuss what's next for Nebraska, plus other clips from Rule's press conference yesterday as well. But go ahead and surprise me with whatever you want to roll.
Yeah, and congratulate. There's a ton of guys signing a lot of different places, and we're really, really happy for them. And I think.
Okay, pause. So this is about in-state recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and congratulate. There's a ton of guys signing a lot of different places, and we're really, really happy for them. And I think over 3 years, our commitment to recruiting the state has been really, really solid. Jace was someone who just stood out to us. He was fast. He's athletic. At the end of the day, when we go to recruit somebody, we have to say to ourselves, hey, can we beat Ohio State with this person? Can we beat Michigan with this person? And so Jace was a guy, when we looked at his height, weight, speed, and all that we felt convicted on that he would. Some of the other ones didn't quite work out. Some of the other ones got offered early and they didn't want to come camp with us. I mean, it's just all those things happen. But my hope is always that everyone ends up in the right place. What I'd rather guys go somewhere and be happy than be unhappy, but be in state. So I wouldn't say we didn't recruit them. It just didn't go all the way to the end. A lot of recruiting is evaluation, and we did the best we could with the information we had, and we'll continue to recruit the state. I want guys who love Nebraska and love this place. So we'll try to do the best we can moving forward.
So in Matt Rule's first 2 recruiting classes, his first recruiting class, he had 8 players from Nebraska, which was the most Nebraska had as far as in-state commits in a recruiting class since 1998. And then Matt Rule turned around year 2 and did it again. So he's given effort to recruiting in-state players. There's also been a noticeable change in philosophy and focus. And he mentioned, I tend to remember conversations really well. I tend to remember things that are said in press conferences. So when I say he's mentioned this before, he mentioned it last winter, like legit, I can remember watching it. All right. And he mentioned, how do I put the batting average with players coming into the state of Nebraska, from the state of Nebraska to the University of Nebraska to play football here and actually producing on the field hasn't been great. And then guys transfer out, whether it's Malachi Coleman, whether it's Jalen Lloyd, whether there's other guys as well. So the batting average of them actually working out hasn't been great. And I think what I remember him saying that day was, he didn't say this. I'll say what I think he was saying, so I'm paraphrasing my words with his. Basically, the loyalty to the Nebraska football program from in-state players, they're going to go somewhere else if they have a better opportunity. I don't want to use the word loyalty because that almost means like something derogatory. That's not what I meant. If there's a better opportunity, they're less likely to stay. And so I think in his mind, well, if playing for your in-state team doesn't matter as much, then that's not going to help the program here that we're trying to build, because that's supposed to be one of the edges that an in-state player gives you. And so why don't we just go recruit the best players, period? And as long as we give them a good deal, they're more likely to stay here because it's about NIL, et cetera now, whether you're in-state player or out-of-state player. I will say this. How we don't even offer Jet Tamala is still crazy to me. I know the whole Dayton Raiola thing. Has he committed anywhere?
I haven't seen anything from him. No.
So that's a weird circumstance. He goes from he's going to be here for bowl prep practices to not even committed anywhere. So that's going to be something interesting to see unfold. How you don't even like offer a guy like that is interesting to me, but we kind of know why, the Dayton Raiola thing. And then they're like, just kidding, going to do something different now. So we don't have a quarterback in this class. And when you got Trey Taylor and TJ Lateef, I hope they all stay, and I hope they all come. And I do think Trey seems as on board as any commit we've had in a long time to come to Nebraska. You feel okay about it. It's probably just one less guy hitting the transfer portal down the road if everything works out. I will say this. I don't want it to turn into a situation where there hasn't been the success rate that you want from in-state high school Nebraska players working out for the Nebraska football program. So all of a sudden it's like subconsciously, I don't think it'd be conscious, but subconsciously you almost kind of hold it against them based on previous experience. I hope nothing like that creeps in. Obviously, I don't think it'd be conscious, but even subconsciously. I will say that you look ahead to 2027. I think it's the top 4, the number 4 recruiting class in the country. And if you look at the top 10 recruits in the history of Nebraska football, Marlon Lucky's number 1, Dylan Raiola's number 2. But Trey Taylor and Torrey Pittman's number 3. Trey Taylor's number 9. We got 2 of the top 10 commits in the history of Nebraska football that have ever come in a Nebraska recruiting class that are expected to come here next year. I'm not sitting here going to pound the table and say, hey, it's the greatest recruiting class we ever had this year. I think the focus is on retaining young players and retaining the young roster we have, and then bringing in key guys in the transfer portal. And then the focus when it comes to high school recruiting is 2027. That's what I believe. All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Staying profitable means finding smarter, more efficient ways to farm. Those decisions turn hard work into something worth passing down. Join us at the Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln for the Nebraska Ag Expo on December 9th through 11th, where agriculture meets innovation. From big iron and livestock production to the latest in ag tech and soil health, discover the solutions that can help you do more with less and protect your legacy for generations to come. Sponsored in part by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Riddles Jewelry, we know there are moments in life when you realize this is what it's all about. And you wish you could hold on to that feeling forever. This is why we've made jewelry our passion for 65 years. This holiday season, find the perfect gift with savings up to 50%. Riddles Jewelry, family owned since 1959.
Located in Lincoln at the Gateway Mall.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies, the light breeze, and after high around 23. Tonight, mainly clear skies, continued breeze, a low around 20. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return with a light wind, pretty warmer. The afternoon high near 38. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucky for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination. The 2026 Love Nebraska schedule is here. Season 2 features 10 opportunities to catch your home team in Nebraska, with 9 at Baxter Arena and 1 at the Heartland Events Center in Grand Island. More matches means more chances to see your favorite pro volleyball athletes, like Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson. Check out the full schedule by visiting lovbneb.com/schedule.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Hey guys, Nick Stannard here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a bit of a health nut. Ladies and gentlemen, hydration and recovery, they do start at home. That's why you should, team up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects your water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage for drinking. Make sure that you add in Culligan Reverse Osmosis. It is just like bottled quality water right at your tap. It tastes great and is certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 a month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. Again, that's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red. So, chat a little bit about Emmett and his potential decision. We'll dive more into the quarterback stuff in the future. Why don't we go to the defensive side of the ball? What in the world is Matt Rule looking for in our third defensive coordinator?
You know, I think for me, I want someone who it's not scheme, it's our play style and how hard we play. The reality is the last 2 weeks, we haven't played hard enough. We were not the more physical team, and we had done that a lot of times. And so I want player development. I want physicality. I want effort way more than scheme. And so someone who can bring all that out in us. And, I'm up there, Phil's meeting with every kid right now. And I think he's relaying that message for this next month. And that will be what we look for moving forward. There's a play style that we want, and I think it was on display early in our tenure here. It has not been on display quite as much. And even though the numbers were good, in this league, in this stadium, you better stop the run the football. And it's easy just to throw it on the players. I don't throw things on the players. There's only one rule working for me, and that's don't tell me the players aren't good enough. Don't ever say that to me. So you can evaluate and say, hey, this guy's got to get stronger. This guy's got to get bigger. Hey, we have a hole here. Let's go get this guy. I have no problem with that. But I want a coordinator who gets 11 guys to play as one. And so we'll kind of look at everything.
Was that a bit of a shot at John Butler, you think, there at the end?
To a degree. I think so.
I think we found out the real reason he was let go. I think that's what that was. Do you think Rule, we know they pay attention to what's said in the media. Do you think he just, I'm 49% joking here. Do you think he just sat down and listened to our show and took notes? Because, like, how often have I talked about physicality and playing hard and effort to the ball? And I can tell you about why the NFL is scheme over play style, because everybody plays their butt off or you ain't got a job. College kids don't quite appreciate that as a whole yet. There aren't many Emmett Johnsons who are willing to fight, scratch and claw, tooth and nail before they finally get some recognition. There are those kids out there. Maybe not as many as there once was. I'm not saying they don't exist, but that's what college football is. If you coach college or below, that's generally what it is. We've heard Rule talk about those things in the past, but the other thing I've always heard is 3-3-5, 3-3-5. They started to run the 3-3-5 in the NFL more often. We ran 3-3-5 stuff on third down when we were at Carolina with Phil Snow. It was always around the 3-3-5. Is that fair to say?
It's been a big talking point over the last couple of years, yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's switched. Do you think he takes notes, listens to our show?
He might have just watched the Penn State and Iowa game.
I don't know. He's pretty big into unbridled honesty, Jake.
That's true.
There's like 10 people out there that are going to get that beyond just the intro to this show. Obviously, Rule's not doing that. He's much too busy to be doing that. What I am saying is I love what I just heard. I love what I just heard. I've talked about my coaching philosophy. Yeah, I've never coached college ball. I know a bunch of people have floated it to me the past 3 weeks. I know it's realistic. I know it's not. I've been offered multiple times to coach high school football. Did you know this? I've been offered to coach high school basketball.
Oh.
Nobody listens, right? Like if I say this, nobody's going to hear it?
No, this is great. This is broadcasting out.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to ruin my reputation. I actually enjoy coaching basketball more than I enjoy coaching football.
That is surprising.
Now, there's a limit to that. If it was past high school, no, it'd be football. High school and below, it's basketball. And I can explain why. Number one, I'm better equipped to coach football past high school than I am basketball. What I am getting at is if you come at, I don't care if it's middle school kids, high school kids, college kids, pros are different. If you come at them with a bunch of things that they have to think about, and they're spending the whole time thinking rather than learning, growing, developing, improving, and the first thing you have to teach somebody is how to compete. In football, there's not many people that just walk in born ready to hit somebody right out the gate. There are some. Oddly enough, in my experience, a lot of them were previous wrestlers, especially in the trenches. But physicality, toughness, competing, there are some people who are born that way. Less than 10% of the people I've ever met. Most people, it's something that has to be, it's like a skill that has to be taught. It's no different than blocking technique or shooting a free throw. It is a skill that has to be taught. And if you lead with the wrong skill, you will jack up every other skill you try to teach them afterwards. If you teach them to compete, to be physical, and that's what they learn first, they will catch on to a scheme 1,000 times easier later on, because whether you realize it or not, you're teaching them all the skills at once. And if you teach them scheme over everything else first, you're teaching them to play slow, you're teaching them to play hesitant, you're teaching them to think, and they're not going to be physical. If you lead with physical speed and violent play on a football field, they can learn scheme too. You just add more later on. But if you overload them with scheme, they're learning the wrong things, whether you intend to or not, when it comes to physicality, competing, and playing fast, because they're going to do the opposite, and that's what they're subconsciously learning. I feel like that made sense. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
I love what Rule just said. I wish we'd have been doing this since day one. And I'm not saying he wasn't like doing it since day one. I wish we would have led with this, is what I should say. more at the forefront since day one. But I'm here for the progress that I'd like to see, and I'm here for learning, growing, and getting better. Last clip of Rule, anyways.
Yeah.
Future potential coaching decisions.
Yeah.
I'll take this time to kind of evaluate everything. John's situation was unique in that, he's going to have some opportunities, and I wanted to make sure he got one of those opportunities. I mean, he's a really valued coach, especially in the National Football League. But I don't have anything in my mind right now. Hey, this is going to happen. So I just think, you go through this time. Normally I don't make things that quickly, but I felt like it was best. And so I did it then to be fair to him, to be fair to the recruits, but I don't anticipate anything right now, but I will continue to really look at everything.
How much stock do you put in that?
Well, I mean, he also kind of said throughout the press conference, Addison Williams isn't going anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, because he helped recruit Danny Odom. The secondary was great this past year. That the new defensive coordinator might have some stock in, or some guys that he might want to bring along. So, I mean, I get it. I think it's he explained it out perfectly. I mean, right now they felt that move was quick and be better for both sides. And then you're going to kind of continue to evaluate. So I would expect you bring in a defensive coordinator, much like Dana Holgorsen wanted D Shorts as wide receiver coach. There might be a guy that he wants, that the defensive coordinator wants to bring along with him, and that might mean that somebody has to leave from the staff. But won't be Addison Williams. We know that.
Well, I'm glad he's not going anywhere. Our secondary was good. Addison's known as a good recruiter. I think you got to evaluate everybody. Certain position groups I do think need to be evaluated more. You probably feel like with everything you said about Glenn Thomas, he's probably safe, and D Shorts and Holgorsen got the connection. I think it's fair to look at Satterfield and say, you're getting paid coordinator money. We're going to need to talk about that. Now, whether you keep him or not, my gut says that Rule's probably going to keep him. But we got to talk about that coordinator money, because that's money that we could use to bring in another guy out of the portal or do whatever. The offensive line has to be evaluated as hardcore as any other position group on the entire team. That's the first one that popped into my mind. Like Donovan, the offensive line, again, it's not my decision to make. But I will tell you right now, it needs to be as evaluated as hardcore as any other group possible on the entire team, and it needs to be objective. It needs to be independent of a connection or lack thereof to anyone else. Could I have said it any less vague, any more clear?
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank
I will
you.
say this: there's not a limit on coaches. You could bring in a co-offensive line.
Like,
coach
seriously,
if you need
co-offensive line
to.
coach?
You could.
Seriously? Okay, it's not a bad point. In fairness, there used to be a defensive ends coach and a D-tackle coach when I got here. And I've always looked at the offensive line like they have 5 guys on the field at once. We have 4. Why do they just have 1 coach? That's actually, you know what? I was like, what is he talking about? That actually makes some sense. Do you think they do it?
No, I'm just throwing it out there. Could be a possibility. Well, okay.
Is that an insult to Donovan if they do that then? Like, hey, you're not in charge anymore. Is that an insult to him, or is it a compliment because they kept him?
I'll just say what you were trying not to say is there's a connection between the uncle and the quarterback, and that will continue. So that would be a route I could see a possibility of keeping everybody happy.
Here's what I'll say, and I've said this other places. We have to do what's best for the program. If Rule's longtime friends with somebody, but there's an exponentially better coach out there, you got to get the better coach. If you've coached with somebody for 1,000 years, but there's a better coach out there, you need to get that better coach. If somebody's related, I mean, Brian Ferentz isn't calling plays at Iowa anymore for a reason, because it wasn't best for Iowa football. It just wasn't. Doesn't mean you love him any less. It can't be related. Wow, bad pun here. It can't be related to who you're related. That was not an intended bad pun, but there you have it. It has to be based on the job. Defensively, obviously, new defensive coordinator. People have asked me a ton about Coach Brad, and I'm like, man, he kind of walked into this situation. He's a young coach. You look at his resume, like the dude is ready to be a position coach. Again, not my call to make. But that's my instant reaction. Also, the defensive line struggled a lot. He was the coach of that group, so I get both sides. I just, in every position group, every group needs to be evaluated. And I don't think there has to be a rush. So he's got time. I think you want to have most of these moves done probably before the portal opens. Probably might be fair. But we'll see how it all plays out. Is that all the rule clips for now?
Yep.
You got anything else? Anything off the text line?
Let's see on the text line. Says whoever we bring in needs to be able to bring an entire staff with them. I think if we're going to be successful, they need to choose who's going to be successful with them on the defensive side of the ball.
So that's an interesting one. Is it a situation, and maybe he brings in one or two coaches, but is it a situation where it's like, hey, we've got everything, you're just going to run it? Or is it a situation where you're running it and you get to make, outside of Addison Williams, as many changes as you'd like? He said it's not a complete overhaul, Rule did, of this defensive staff. So I wonder what that actually looks like. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, coming off a failed year where you had a guy run somebody else's defense, I would give them a lot of power in saying so and what they're going to do here.
So I wasn't saying what I thought should happen. I was asking, what do you think is the actual scenario here?
Yeah.
Do you think Holgorsen ran the offense he exactly wanted to run? That's a genuine question I've had all season, too. I don't know the answer to it. Do you think he ran the exact offense he wanted to run? Or maybe some of it was curtailed for him?
I think it's the one that he wanted to run given the situation. But, you know, I think if you just sat it down and said, let's start building an offense, I don't think that'd be what he would run.
So, to piggyback off what you said, and to be clear, I don't know what the situation is on defense. I don't know if the coordinator's got free autonomy to do whatever he wants. I'm fine with keeping Addison Williams. If that's predetermined, that's fine. Hey, WWE, Addison Williams, predetermined, he's staying. That's cool with me. But outside of that, I feel like the D coordinator needs to be able to do what he wants. I don't look at anybody and be like, everybody's just rock solid here. Maybe they're all back next year. I'd be happy with that if that's the best case scenario. It's not my call to make, but my call to make is we need to have evaluations that are about what's best for the football team and nothing else. All other connections, you know, if you're not the best man for the job, then hey, no problem. Much like John Butler, wish you the best. All these guys would land on their feet. Hopefully most of them stay. Hopefully because they're evaluated as the best people for the job. We'll see what happens there. All right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Feeling under the weather? Got a minor injury that can't wait? Skip the ER visit and high cost. Choose CHI Health Clinic Priority Care for everything from sniffles and sinus infections to stitches and sprains. Priority Care handles it all at primary care rates, much less than a typical urgent care visit. Priority Care is open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Find relief without breaking the bank. Learn more at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with roof credit.
Back 9 Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
At Riddles Jewelry, we know there are moments in life when you realize this is what it's all about. And you wish you could hold on to that feeling forever. This is why we've made jewelry our passion for 65 years. This holiday season, find the perfect gift with savings up to 50%. Riddles Jewelry, family owned since 1959.
Located in Lincoln at the Gateway Mall. Your Christmas list changes a lot as you get older. Dreams of video games, remote-controlled cars, and baseball gloves turn into dreams of shoes. You know, practical things. Brown's Shoe Fit is the king of shoes in Lincoln, with brands like Sorel, UGG, Brooks, Hoka, and more to make you fashionable and comfortable. Grab a new Ridge wallet or buy 3 get 1 free on smart wool socks for the ultimate stocking stuffer. And don't forget a reliable gift card for that hard-to-buy-for person in your life. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q in Lincoln. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hey guys, Nick Stainert here. Join me and Jay Foreman this Friday, December 5th for a special edition of Old School from 3 to 6 p.m. at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. We're raising awareness and funds for the Nebraska Greats Foundation, and we'll have many former Husker greats in attendance to promote as well. That's Old School this Friday at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 27th and Jamie Lane, sponsored by Alpha Wealth Advisors.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right. The Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety is not just a policy, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back both on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business, Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW, Suizo.com. Also, shout out to our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications. They bring you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at HamiltonTel.com. Also, this Friday, it's going to be a special edition of, let me see, Old School. Is that correct? Jake?
Yeah, yep.
Old School. All right. They're going to be Nebraska Greats Foundation partnering 3 to 6 p.m. live broadcast with Nick Sainer and Jay Foreman. Guest interviews include Nebraska Greats Foundation board members, recipients, and notable guests such as Eric Crouch, Boyd Epley, Frank Solich, and Jabba Chamberlain. Make sure you tune in this Friday, Old School, Friday, December 5th, from 3 to 6 p.m. Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman, guests Eric Crouch, Boyd Epley, Frank Solich, and Jabba Chamberlain. You think Nick created the flyer? Is that why his name's on there first?
Could be.
I noticed stuff like that. You know what I mean? I saw Boyd Epley actually at a basketball game I was coaching. You know what he said to me from the stands? He goes, "What do you know about basketball?" Listen here, dude. You know what I almost said, but I didn't because I'm not an idiot? I said, "I know more about basketball than you do strength and conditioning," but I didn't say that because that would have been stupid.
Ooh, yeah.
That would have been stupid. But I just kind of smiled and waved because I honestly really didn't have a good comeback and there was a lot of people watching. So he got me on that one. But that's all right. What's next for Nebraska? Defensive coordinator, evaluating coaches. We'll see who stays, who goes in the transfer portal. We'll see what decision Emmett Johnson makes. He's the only first-team All Big Ten performer for the Huskers. Was there anyone else that made any sort of All Big Ten?
So Kenneth Williams was second-team All Kick Returner, and Ja'Cory Barner was third-team.
Punt returner, or just as a wide receiver?
Yep, punt returner.
All right, special teams making an appearance. Yeah. We now return kicks and get yards. All right. You brought up something during the break that I'm sure we'll talk about more. But what's next for Nebraska football? The next time we might see that team in Memorial Stadium in a potential game-like setting might be, I was going to do the drum roll, but I suck at it. That's actually the best I've ever done. If my wife's listening, she's laughing because I suck at it hardcore. It might be when, Jake, you brought it up. You said.
Could be the spring game. The spring game could be back.
You think they'll bring it back?
I think they will.
They better bring it back.
The spring transfer portal window is kind of what killed it, so it's gone now.
Final thoughts on the Husker games. All these months later, what are your final thoughts on the Husker games?
I thought the Husker games are really cool. I think if you put some more, I think they should add elements to it, bring back some of the former players, have kind of, these challenges that they did. It just really felt strange because there was nobody there. I was there. And so, I've been saying that for years. I love adding those type of elements to the game, but the biggest thing is you need a game.
Yeah.
And they tried to do that the last minute with some of the backups, but no, if it's done right, and Matt Rule was talking about it, could be used to draw in recruits.
Something that never made any sense to me, and maybe I pointed this out back then, but I don't recall. They actually scrimmaged with all the young guys. So didn't we want people not to see the young guys? Also, it was not recorded outside of our just practice film. Why couldn't we hold a normal game and just do it like that? Did that ever occur to you?
Yeah, again, that thing.
The Big Ten can't get in if we don't let them in to broadcast.
I think that thing kind of. I think they might have made different, like as the weeks went on, as they got closer to it. I think it was more like, okay, because remember they initially said there's going to be no game, and then eventually get down to it's like, all right, we'll have a little bit of a game. So I think I think they canceled that too soon is what happened.
I think they were trying to, because they realized not many people were coming and people want to see actual football, and they were trying to do what little bit they could to appease the fans the most. And I think that's really what it was.
I heard the biggest thing was that, I want to call it a yard sale, but whatever they had, I don't know what they call it, all the equipment stuff that they had left over. I heard there was just about as many people there as at the game.
There was, dude. The line was like never ending. Here's my thoughts on the spring game. Is it better be back? I know it was missed. I know I'm fine with, I guess, why they didn't do it. I hope it's back, and I also hope because remember, it's been floated, maybe doing it versus another team, or maybe at least having inter-squad practices leading up to the spring game the week of. Dude, if we're going to be like the NFL does that all the time. They have preseason games. I know this is a spring game, but they have inter-squad practices all the time. I think you could actually get more people to come to practices than you can charge a little bit of money, $5. They'd still come and make some more revenue that way. And I think it'd just be more awesome for the fans. Let's say we don't even do the spring game for someone else, which I'm still going to advocate for. But let's just say we do the inter-squad practices with someone else. Who's the team you want us to practice against? So many ways to go with that.
Yeah.
You want an easy one? You want a top team to beat us up a little bit? You want a rival so there's like 90 fights in practice? Like, what are you looking for here, Jake?
I want to beat Iowa, so I want to face off. At some point, we got to beat Iowa.
Dude, I did not see that answer coming. I can't top that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day. Go big. I genuinely did not see that coming. And always remember to throw the bones.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hungry for some